Ladies and gentlemen, there's a growing concern among economists that America is really not that far off from a recession. I'm going to go ahead and play this from NPR.
Warning lights are flashing for the U.S. economy. A growing number of forecasters now believe a recession is on the horizon. They're worried that high inflation will force a crackdown by the Federal Reserve, and the upheaval caused by Russia's invasion of Ukraine isn't helping. NPR's Scott Horsley reports. By many measures, the U.S. economy has staged a remarkable comeback from the pandemic downturn. Employers have added nearly 6.5 million jobs in the last 12 months, and unemployment has plunged to just 3.6%. So, why is Matthew Luzetti, the chief U.S. economist for Deutsche Bank, sounding the alarm about a looming recession? It's probably surprising to be talking about recessions at this point, given the momentum that we've seen, particularly in the labor market. And yet, it's precisely that sizzling labor market that has Luzetti worried. As employers scramble to find scarce workers, they're bidding up wages, and that's helping push inflation far above the Federal Reserve's target of 2%. The ultimate conclusion is we are having very strong growth, but it is inflationary growth. Luzetti thinks the Fed will have no choice but to crack down hard, and he predicts by late next year that will push the economy into recession. Other forecasters are also getting nervous. Economists surveyed by the Wall Street Journal put the odds of recession in the next 12 months at 28%, more than double what they were a year ago. For much of the last year, the Federal Reserve thought inflation was primarily the result of supply chain snarls that would work themselves out once the pandemic eased. Luzetti agrees there may be some relief in store, but it's taking a long time. We continue to push out our expectation for when these supply chain issues will be resolved. And that is one area where the recent invasion of Ukraine has exacerbated and elongated those price pressures and the supply chain issues that we are to face. What's more worrisome is that inflation is spreading thanks to consumers' insatiable demand for all kinds of goods and services. Last month, the Fed began raising interest rates in an effort to tamp down that demand. What the central bank would like to do is cool off inflation without sending a chill through the whole economy. But the monetary thermostat is not that precise, and former Treasury Secretary Larry Summers says the chances of the Fed getting it just right are not good. It could happen, but I don't think it's terribly likely.
So, as you heard, ladies and gentlemen, all forecasters are saying things look gloomy in America. So, in the Wall Street Journal, a survey, 63% of economists said that they thought the feds would at least try to engineer a soft landing, bringing inflation under control without triggering a recession. But they're saying that is probably highly unlikely. So, Brian Dees, the director of President Biden's National Economic Council, acknowledges that the economic challenge that high inflation poses, but argues that there's a strong job market and whatever. So, the United States is better positioned to be dealing with this. I don't agree with that. There's an awful lot of money going out of America these days. So Summers said he understands why both the White House and feds are eager to let the economy run hot and boost worker wages. Increase in demand can be profoundly good for workers, but if they're unsustainable and they necessitate subsequent recessions, then they ultimately boomerang. Summers, a Democrat who served in the Clinton and Obama administration, also has a warning for the Biden administration and congressional Democrats. Voters' frustration and high inflation helped to fuel the Republican victories in the past, he said, such as Richard Nixon and Ronald Reagan. The U.S. will now get a chance to see whether that history will repeat itself in midterm elections later this year. I think it will. Right now, to be honest with you, I think things are looking bad for the Democratic Party. at this point in time. And it really looks bad when you got to call in a former president and he's going to combat what we are saying online against the Democratic Party. You know, instead of fixing what's wrong with the Democratic Party, they want to fight people like the new black media out here because they figure we are out here railing against the Democrats, and we actually should be, especially the fact that they have done for everybody except for us. I mean, what do they really believe we're going to sit here and say? I have nothing good to say about the Democratic Party. Nothing. And I don't see them improving anything by the time we get to the midterms. If, you know, I really believe things will be far worse than they are now by the time midterms come around. And to be honest with you, so many people in the community, among the black voters, I think the turnout is going to be low for the midterms. You're going to have a lot of people that are not going to show up to the polls that normally vote Democrat. Those people are not going to be there for them. And they don't deserve anything from us, quite frankly. They don't do nothing. So what do you expect? They want this one-sided relationship where they benefit from everything and we get nothing. And see, that scenario doesn't work anymore. Not like it used to. But y'all, please tell me what you think. I think the inflation is just one part of what's going to ruin things for the Democratic Party. Not that I really care. They are getting what they deserve as far as I'm concerned. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.